Some parents at Earl Haig Secondary School are concerned specialized programs like the Claude Watson art program at their school may be watered down or even disappear as the Toronto District School Board looks at improving access to such programs across the city.
The draft recommendations are pretty sweeping with the changes that they're recommending. So we are trying to get the word out there to parents so that they're aware and they could provide the feedback.
Phi Pham and Susan Kenny are with the Earl Haig School Council. They're concerned about one specific section from the TDSB's Enhancing Equity Task Force that reads, quote, "The task force recognizes that specialized schools and programs, while benefiting certain populations, have inadvertently resulted in greater competition and disparities between schools. In many cases, these schools have served to limit enriched learning opportunities for students, especially those from the most marginalized communities." The task force then goes on to list these recommendations, quote, "Resources and supports be realigned so that all schools, or at least every cluster of local schools, can offer a variety of specialty programs, and once this is in place and all students have equitable access to enriched programming, optional attendance and specialized schools should be phased out."
There are a lot of specialized programs in the TDSB that may be at risk, whether it's the maths or the athletics programs. There's quite a few, even the French immersion.
The whole idea behind the Enhancing Equity Task Force, specifically when it comes to specialized schools and programs, is not to scrap these programs in schools, but to just ensure equitable access. We want to make sure that all students across the board have access to these great programs in schools.
TDSB spokesperson Ryan Bird says this is all still early in the process, and it is by no means a done deal.
They've put out these draft recommendations, not final recommendations by any means, to really prompt the discussions that we're having right now.
To Pham and Kenny, that's not enough, and what also concerns them is the speed at which this has transpired. They say they only received the proposals at Thanksgiving, and responses are needed by the end of the month. Pham says, considering how successful the Claude Watson program is, this is not something that should be rushed.
We have visitors from China, Russia, Australia. They come here to see what we're doing right, that we're producing these wonderful artists. So, if you water down the program, you will not get the same results.
Now, Ryan Bird says, as he mentioned, this is very early. Once they've heard from groups, there will be more input and more reports before any kind of a decision is made on this.